Let's keep looking at changes, but now we'll focus in more on the biotic parts of the system. We focus on a phenomenon of a fox preying on a rabbit. The two of them depend upon one another, so that when something changes with one population, the other one also changes. We introduced this scenario in 6.20 as students wonder, what do ecologists want to know? We then meet a few real-life ecologists and hear what drives their curiosity. We end with a short presentation about scientific questions and a worksheet to practice constructing them. For homework, students will return to their ecosystem study location and develop scientific questions about what they observe. In Lesson 21, we'll do 2 activities to survey student prior knowledge about foxes and how they interact with rabbits and the rest of the ecosystem. One's a mind map, and the other a traditional KWL chart. We'll build on that with a short presentation that introduces ecosystem relationships like predators and prey. For homework, students will repeat a similar exercise at their ecosystem study location. In this lesson, we'll do a kinesthetic model of a fox-rabbit ecosystem where different students represent foxes, rabbits, and plants. For every 1 fox, there should be 3 to 4 rabbits and 6 plants. We need to go outside to do some running. The first step is that the teacher yells out, "Plants spread out!" And the seeds blow randomly around the play area until the teacher yells out, "Plants plant!" And they sit down in that spot, and they stay there all game. Then they yell, "Rabbits munch!" And the rabbits try to find a plant to sit under for shelter and to eat for food. But a few seconds after the rabbits leave, the teacher announces, "Foxes on the run!" And the foxes try to reach the rabbits. A rabbit that's next to a plant is safe, but one out in the wild gets eaten. The next round, the plants that were eaten by rabbits become plants, rabbits eaten by foxes become foxes, and foxes that found no food will die and sprout as new plants the next round. There's a handout with all these rules written down. As far as the plan for the actual day is structured, you introduce the game, play a practice round, do a debrief as a class, and then allow students to ask clarifying questions. The next day, we use the simulation to collect actual data for 6 rounds, or seasons. Students are going to record data about their own personal experience and journey, and also the whole class populations that help them really answer this question, what does an ecosystem look like when it's in action? We start Lesson 24 congratulating students on earning 2 new Nature Ninja badges. We then work with students on refining their ecosystem study location questions that we assigned as a homework in Lesson 20. Our goal is to help them go from good starting point questions that are really based on their curiosity, like why does something happen, to an evidence-driven question. With evidence in mind, we can really address this question, what sort of data can we collect? And we show a presentation with sample observations about ants crawling up a stem to illustrate for students how they can collect quantitative data based on counting and measuring, and also qualitative data based on using their other senses. In 6.25, students will develop their own data collection plan using Ecosystem Study handout number 6 as a scaffold. Here are a few examples of some past data collection plans. Notice how many of them look at how things change over time, like the number of bird songs at a different time of day, or the height of weeds over a week. Others look at how things are different in different parts of the study location, like how many plants there are in places with soft soil versus hard soil. In Lesson 26, we return to our kinesthetic model and we take our data and create a graph. We allow the whole period for everyone to complete the graph, but if your class is faster, you can move on to the next lesson. After students create the graph, they wonder what caused the populations to go up and down. For example, if a student narrates their own personal experience in the model, the other student might ask where on the graph it shows that event. The goal here is to identify patterns and then start asking questions about cause and effect. As a whole class, we use data from our analysis as evidence to construct explanations, a natural progression in science practices. We end class checking in with students about their ecosystem study data. Next up, we'll look at what happens when climate change disrupts the delicate balance that we just discovered.